Thank you so very much for being back. And if you just joined us, this is still Enterprise Morning, reaching you from Enterprise Television. Let's head straight to our main conversation for today. The United States House Subcommittee on Africa is set to hold a public hearing on November 22, 2025 to review President Donald Trump's redesignation of Nigeria as a country of particular concern, CPC, over alleged Christian persecution. The hearing, chaired by Rep. Chris Smith, will feature senior U.S. State Department officials and the Nigerian religious leaders, including Bishop WILFRED ANAGBE. The CPC designation now before the U.S. Senate could pave the way for sanctions, restricted assistance, and stronger U.S. intervention if Nigeria is found to be failing in protecting religious freedom. Trump's move has intensified debate after he claimed Christianity faces an existential threat in Nigeria, even threatening to halt U.S. aid or deploy military force if the killings is allegedly targeting Christian continues. While President BOLA Tinubu rejected Trump's claim as a misrepresentation of Nigeria's religious reality, several U.S. lawmakers insisted that persecution is severe, citing blasphemy laws and disproportionate killings of Christians compared to other groups. Now let's get talking. I still have Mr. John Eko with me. Thank you so very much, Mr. Nicholas. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much.
All right. So I would love to have your say, just before we get into other things that connect this CPC designation of Nigeria Christian genocide. What's your take? Just give me a bird's eye view of what you think about what the United States had labeled against Nigeria.
Well, I think that first is to say that every life in Nigeria matters. Whether it's Christian, whether it's Muslim, life should be valued. But the reverse is the case presently in Nigeria, where people are being killed, whether by bandits, terrorists, insurgency, while people also died as a result of poor health care, poor road, just name them. Nigerians, workers and the poor people are dying every day. And that is because our system has failed. But be that as it may, we want to say, without any equivocation, that we reject President Tinubu's hollow nationalistic talks, which is meant to begin to rally the mass of people, against the U.S. And we also equally reject the U.S. attempt or plan to intervene in Nigeria militarily. We are against it. Instead, we demand that Nigeria internal security problem can only be resolved by the working class and the poor people. And it's on that basis we have demanded that in each community there should be a non-sectarian, non-religious, multi-ethnic defense committee that is democratically managed by the people themselves. And if need be, they should be armed to begin to repel all these terrorists, bandits, and insurgents from our country. And that is because the U.S. in its motive is not being altruistic in its motive. Of course, as you know, it is just trying to play to the evangelical group, Christian group in the U.S., trying to impress them and things like that. Why we admit, and which is a fact, that there are killings in Nigeria. It's not just about Christian. Yes, to some extent, the Christian might be in preponderance as against other killing. But the point is that it is the pro-capitalist policies of past government and this present government that is responsible for all these killings. Tinubu is trying to use, his nationalistic a patriotic call for patriotism and things like that, to use it to distract people, to distract the mass of Nigerian workers and poor people from the deleterious effect of its anti-poor capitalist policies, as I said earlier, including fuel subsidy removal, naira devaluation, increment in tax, hike in school, healthcare in disarray, and all those things. He's just trying to use it to deflate attention from himself, from the failure, the monumental failure of its government. We reject that. And we insist that it's not just enough to begin to push back at Trump. Why they are pushing back at Trump, as we have just said now, over 145 people have been adopted by bandits, by insurgents, by terrorists, and people are being killed. What have they done between that time till now? So what is required is that the mass of Nigerian people need to consciously organize and mobilize themselves for a movement to begin to demand from our leader that the needful need to be done, that we are tired of losing our life, either to bandits, either to terrorists, to bad roads, to poor health system, to poor infrastructure, to poor housing. We must demand that government begin to invest massively in all these areas. The people that are being recruited into all this group, how do they get their recruits? And that is because in the north, over 18 million children are out of school. What does that mean? It means that all those children that are out of school, they are already made material to be recruited by all those bandits, terrorists, and insurgents. Has our leaders built schools to absorb all these children, put all of them in school, and begin to de-radicalize some of those people that are being, fed with false ideology? It's not about military intervention by the U.S. Even if U.S. intervene today, as long as the material, concrete reality that has given birth to the rise of all this insurgency, banditry, and the like remains, nothing is going to change.
Yes, very well said. Nothing is going to change. But the question is, how much of vigilante or recruiting them would help the situation? Knowing
Hello,
that,
sir. Can you please? You are not audible.
Okay. Yes.
I can't hear you very well.
Yeah. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me?
Yes.
All right,
I can
beautiful.
hear you now.
Yeah. So my question is, how much of being involved as citizens can we do when we face issues of complicity? Remember the brigadier general that was killed just yesterday. No one would, of course, be comfortable knowing that he was killed as a result of information that was given to the bandits. So how can we better protect ourselves when there is a massive infiltration of the bad guys in our security architecture? Remember, in this administration, Mr. Nicholas, there are those that have been fingered to be terrorist sponsors and sympathizers working with this administration of President BOLA Tinubu. I wouldn't want to mention names for the sake of defamation, but they are there and we all know who they are. So how do you think this government can save the situation where people working with the administration have been fingered to have sponsored or sympathized with terrorists and insurgents?
Thank you very much. This administration cannot do anything because they are also culpable. They are culpable. You have just said it. Are they not aware of the sponsors of all these people? Is it not people that are taking pictures, negotiating with the terrorists, with the bandits? Is it not people that will carry ransom and go and give those terrorists, interfacing between the insurgent bandits, kidnappers, and those people that have been kidnapped? Are they not in Nigeria? Are we not aware? Don't we know them? What has the government done about it? You have just said it. Information is being leaked to those terrorists and those bandits. Why will information not be leaked? As we speak today, sir, the corruption in the security architecture, in the security formation is stinking to the high heavens. The ordinary soldiers, the cannon folders, that have been on the ground trying to fight this insurgency with bare hands are not giving arms. The money that are meant for those arms are being siphoned by our leaders. Of course, when the secret of the coup was released, before when the military was denying, they said that it was disgruntled military officers who, as a result of their grouse, due to no promotion, no payment of some allowances and things like that, they are the one that got involved in all this bad behavior, quote unquote. What does that tell you? It tells you that there is a lot of misgivings, there is a lot of grievances within the military formation that these leaders did, that this present administration, as a result of corruption, has deliberately refused to address. Those arms, what of the arms that are taken away from the barracks?
Yes.
What of the arms that are sold to those bandits by this same security agency? Why are they doing that? And their grievances have not been addressed. So it will continue until we are prepared to do the right thing. And that is why, for the citizen, the ordinary citizens, because all these people that are responsible for this insecurity, both our leaders in power and those that are collaborating with these bandits, they are not the immediate victim. It is the poor working class people and ordinary people, majorly, that are responsible, that are major target, that are major victims of this lapse in security. So therefore, for us to defend ourselves, I reiterate, there is a need for every community to form a defense committee that is non-sectarian, that is multi-ethnic, non-religious, and it has to be democratically managed. And if need be, they should arm themselves and begin to repel all these bandits and terrorists.
All right. So just before we get to repel them, now let us go back memory lane for a bit. And it's your choice to equally, say if this is true or false, if the chicken has come home to roost. Remember during Goodluck Jonathan's era, when we had the Chibok girls abduction, we had the very popular phrase, bring back our girls. Many years down the line, we learned that the opposition, which is the current APC, were those that most of the time allegedly, made all of those possible. We are beginning to hear and reveal that some of them were made possible as a result of the opposition. Even visiting the United States, the opposition went there to register their lack of faith in Goodluck Jonathan's era. Now, with the APC in power, is it okay to say that karma is real at this point? And how can we save this from not happening in the next administration and other administrations to come?
The point is this, sir. In Nigeria, political offices is very, very juicy. It's very, very lucrative. It comes with power and influence. Therefore, politicians, for their selfish self-interest, can do anything to get to power. So in that wise, this accusation of what happened during Jonathan's era is resurfaced. It's not just Jonathan's era. In the Punch paper this morning, it was reported that during the election period, it's becoming a norm that every election cycle, when election is approaching, adoption become rift. Adoption of school children and things like that become very, very rift. It become prevalent within the North. In some respect, there might be some truth in it. Politicians trying to settle scores among themselves. But in all this, as I said, it is with the ordinary people that suffers it. You can imagine the trauma the parents of those 25, students of government college, Dangu, would have been going through at this moment as a result of the failure of the government. Since the Chibok era, what has changed? That is the issue. Let's assume that Jonathan failed as at that time, which he did woefully. And don't forget, Buhari came into power on the crest of the insecurity within the North. I mean, using the Chibok girl as a flagship to begin to campaign, using security to campaign to get to power. Even when Tinubu was coming, one of his campaign points was that he's going to solve the insecurity problem. Notwithstanding the fact that during Buhari era, he was one of the advisors. He's also a chieftain of the APC as at that time. But now, what has happened? Security has become heightened. I think that as the masses, as the working poor, there is a need for class solution. There is a need for class alternative. And that is why I mentioned earlier on that there is a need for political alternative. Sir, as long as this capitalist party, political party, who are in power for their selfish interests and not to meet the needs of the people, remains in power, the issue of insecurity, banditry, terrorism, it will remain with us. It will remain a recurring decimal until we are prepared as a people to organize ourselves. In fact, we should expect that by now, the NSC and the TUC should be calling out the Nigerian workers, the civil society, and the mass of the people to go on the street and begin to demand that this government solve this issue of insecurity once and for all, and that the trillions and trillions of naira that have been budgeted into, tackling security that have not been embezzled by this element, those money should be used appropriately. That is what we should expect, and we are using this medium to call on the NSC, to call on the TUC and the civil society to stop being complacent and begin to mobilize the mass of workers and the ordinary people for a protest. At least we should start with a 24-hour general strike to send a signal to this government that enough is enough on this insecurity problem, and that we can no longer take the adoption of our children from school any longer. I think it's important, very, very imperative at this very moment.
Oh, very imperative at this moment. But I'd love you to still speak to me. My last question. Knowing that President Bola Tinubu has called himself master strategist, and in that strategy, it has always been divide and control. He appeases some people and appease other people, giving everybody what they want so everyone can remain numb and nobody can speak up. Now, a situation where you have cried and called out for the NLC and the TUC and civil society organizations to come out and send a message. How do you think it would even work when we are all divided amongst ourselves on ethnic divide, religious divide, and some other people standing on the mandate? The 10th National Assembly under Senate President Akpabio, they are all standing on the mandate. Taraba is about to defect to the APC in a couple of days to come. Other parties have all defected to the APC. How do you think it's even possible to have a united Nigeria where we can speak out? Yes.
When President Tinubu, or Mr. Tinubu as he then was, called himself a master strategist, what does it imply? Just as you have clearly stated, it implies master strategist in corruption. It implies master strategist in divide and rule. It implies master strategist in ethnic politics. As you know today now, Nigeria is more divided than it was 5-6 years ago, thanks to the strategist of the Lion of Bodilon, aka Mr. President, that is in power today now. In all this, how do we reinvent ourselves? I think that is where your question becomes apposite. It's no doubt that the bureaucratic element within the NSC have also become willy-nilly complicit in this issue as we are having it today. That is why the ordinary workers in their various factories, in their various offices, from the least worker, from the affiliate of the union, they should begin to hold congresses and begin to pass resolution to their union, to state, and from state to the NSC secretariat, that there is a need for NSC to embark on a protest, on a mass action to begin to address this issue. And that is the only way we can counter the divide and rule issue. As for the House of Rep, Akpabio and the likes of them, you can't expect them, to do otherwise. They are the main beneficiary of this rottenness. And as far as they are concerned, they would rather prefer that this rottenness, this decadence continue, even at the price of the blood of Nigerian people. They don't bother. It is we who are the direct victim. The ordinary people, the workers, it is we who should take our destiny into our hand. And we need to link that, as I said, to the political alternative by ensuring that we have a party of ordinary people, a party of farmers, of workers, with a socialist program involving nationalization of the commodity height of the economy, places saved under the democratic management and control of workers, with a view to liberating resources that have been correctly stolen by those elements, so that we can use it to begin to develop society. Until then, we are not going to run. There is no way we can run away from this vicious circle. Like Baba's chair, it will continue to revolve around us.
Very so sad, Mr. Nicholas. I truly do, feel the pain and the pains of Nigerians, because these are very avoidable situations.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
Hello, I can't hear you very well, sir.
Yes, I say this is actually very sad and avoidable situation that we have, and the solutions are there for us, but unfortunately, we don't see that coming. If you take a look at the end of the Fourth Republic, Mr. John, can you hear me?
Yes, I'm with you. I'm with you. I can hear
now,
you.
Historically, if you take a look at what ended the Fourth Republic and what ended the Second Republic, those two republics, most importantly, is as a result of issues like this, like we are having currently in the Fourth Republic. Now, how do you think we can keep away the military from incursion, even while our politicians deliberately are calling them to come in, even if that is not the wish of Nigerians?
Well, the truth of the matter is this: the military hierarchy, or the top echelon of the military, and their civilian counterparts, they are not different from each other. They all belong to the same capitalist ruling circle. Either of them that is in power, nothing is going to change. They are going to continue to implement these anti-poor capitalist policies, corruption at the detriment of the mass of majority of the people. You have just mentioned the First Republic, the Second Republic, how it ended. What lesson have our leaders learned? They will not learn anything. But as you know, those people who were actors, some of the actors of those, things that happened in the First and the Second Republic, are some of those actors not still in government today? Have they not still be profiting from the government? And that is why I have said there is a need for a class solution. There is a need for a class alternative. These people that are there don't represent the interests of workers and the poor people of Nigeria. And as long as they are there, it's going to be government of crisis. It's going to be government of banditry. It's going to be government of kidnapping. All in an effort to ensure that they perpetuate themselves in power. The onion lies on us to begin to organize ourselves with a view of wresting power from them and using that political party to implement programs and policies that meet the yearning and aspiration of the mass of the Nigerian people.
Very much. I wish we have more than enough time, to do some talking, but I would urge and equally, pray that you would grant us another time, because I would love us to, do some more talking on this very important, information and the news coverage that we have on. Thank you so very much, Mr. John Nicholas. We truly do appreciate your time. Yeah, thank you so very much. So that's just about the time we have, and And that was Echo John Nicholas, National Coordinator, Food and Farmers' Rights Campaign. And also he is the coordinator, Campaign for Democratic and Workers' Right. That's who we have today. And I love to believe you enjoyed our conversation this morning. And he has promised us that he would be here next time, so we can continue on our discussion for today. That's just about the time we have. I'd love to say thank you for being here. Please do well to visit us to read up on everything we've talked about, and that is on enterprisetvnews.com. You may equally rewatch, download and watch later. That's only when you visit us at Enterprise TV7. I am Henry Igwebike. Thank you for watching. We'll see you tomorrow bright and early. God bless Nigeria. God bless you. We'll see you on the other side. Bye-bye.